JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 7th of October 2022. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. So now then guys, jumping into the charts. So the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So we had a bit of a decline. So yes, it kind of followed suit from yesterday's decline in the U.S. markets. The European indices as well did correct a little bit lower. So yeah, everything is kind of been stuck here. It's on Nikkei, for example. Now we can see that it's oscillating around the 21-day EMA. This week's goal to aim for that 21-day, or sorry, not the 21-day, but the 100 and the 200-day EMA kind of was achieved, I would say. Maybe let's take it maybe as a 85% success, or maybe even 90% success, because what I said before, that if we push back above this upside line and this 26,524 territory, then yes, I'll go higher. And yeah, we managed to reach my target, the initial target, the 21-day EMA, and then almost, I would say, we would reach the 100 and the 200-day EMAs. Now, what's next? Of course, we'll have to wait now for next week, but if we do pop above the 200-day EMA here, I'm going to aim for the upside. In terms of the downside, what I said before, that if we drop and stay below that 27,062 territory, or even below that 27,000 mark, if we stay below it, then yeah, I will go a little bit to the downside. Now, USD JPY, very quickly on that one. USD JPY here is trading still. Sorry, no, USD JPY jumped straight into USD JPY. Sorry. Okay, this is Friday for me. Hong Kong's Hang Seng, guys. Hong Kong's Hang Seng did continue to. This barrier here, the 18,235, continued to hold. So yep, I'm still keeping an eye on it in order to go higher. Of course, now it's going to be next week, but of course, also I'm going to keep an eye on the cash index to see if we actually can, break this this barrier earlier, because at the same time we would climb back above the 21-day EMA and we could go a little bit higher. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 17,682 territory in order to go lower. ASX 200, so finished the week in positive territory. I mean, good first week of October. You can see that we got closer to this downside line. Let me jump back into the daily. So yeah, everything kind of worked out nicely. Almost, we managed to almost reach this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 26th of August. So now what I'm looking at here is, of course, a break of this downside line in order to go higher. Certainly, I do have some obstacles on the way higher here, but initially I'm going to aim for that 100-day EMA, and if that gets clear, then I'm going to aim for that 200-day EMA. Simple as that. With the downside, now this is where a few arrows have to be adjusted. Previously, I talked about this highlighted territory as a good possible resistance barrier. Now let's see if it can act as a good support level, because it also coincides here nicely with that 21-day EMA. So keep that in mind. If we do drop below this 6,694 territory, then and we drop below the 21-day EMA, I'll go a little bit to the downside. Now the German index. Okay, this one's quite interesting. So we struggled still with this 12,670 territory. It provided fantastic resistance, as you can see. What's next? Basically, I'm going to keep an eye on today's trading activity. I might say that maybe it wouldn't be that exciting during the European session as it could be today during the US session, because basically we've got the non-farm payrolls coming out, so we'll see how that's going to play out. Currently the expectation is for a lower number, so the non-farm payrolls, the previous one was 315k currently standing, because I mean it will be adjusted probably, and the expectation is for 250k, so 315k previous, 250k current. So basically we're expecting a decline, but what's going to be interesting, of course, to see is if we do get a number which is let's say higher than the forecast but worse than the previous number, then it might everything stay kind of maybe the same, not much. The market might push a little bit higher, so kind of it's not really bad and it's not really good, so we could see a nice rebound maybe to the upside. However, I would say I don't like to try and predict these, but I would rather react to the news than try to predict what could happen with the market before the news comes out. Well, that's my personal approach. I mean, you guys yourselves better, whatever you're comfortable with, but just just kind of be careful and only risk what you are willing to lose. Now coming back to this, coming back to the German index, looking at this picture, and you probably can see what's happening here. We could be forming a possible bullish flag here. You can see that we're having a nice little correction here to the downside, but we're not really drifting below this 12,400 territory, not level but territory. So we're kind of really stuck here still. I would say let's keep an eye on it. The cash index is currently just sitting basically where it closed yesterday, so not far from there. If this is a bullish flag, then of course we could see a nice breakout to the upside. However, as I said before, I always need that confirmation break first. So for the upside, I need to see a push above the 12,670 territory right here. For the downside, I need to see a good drop somewhere below this area. Now, I think that maybe the 12,400 territory is of course something to watch, but also I'm going to keep an eye on this low, the 4th of October near the 12,359 level. So a nice good drop below it may open the door towards some lower levels. So for now, let's keep an eye on that one. And let's see how all this is gonna play out today. So like I said, don't be surprised if we do see some sort of a nice false breakout initially here to the downside, then it reverses and pushes higher. So the usual standard procedure to take out traders basically. So yeah, that's why I always like to kind of wait for a little bit and to see what's happening, and then maybe take a position or something like that. So try to approach it in a calm and pragmatic way. Now okay, jumping into Nasdaq 100 very quickly. So we're stuck here basically near this hurdle, but I think it's time to tidy up the chart, because again, certain levels did work, certain didn't. One thing that is of course currently still on my mind, of course, is this downside channel. We're currently still trading within it. Can we continue doing that? Well, let's wait and see, because at the moment, I mean, as long as we remain in this channel, the trend is to the downside. So that's why if we do break the upper side of the channel, then great, we'll go higher. If we don't break this upper side of the falling channel, then you know, maybe we could see a decline back down. However, for me, preferably, I would like to see a drop below the 11,296 territory right here in order to go at least towards the lowest point of September initially, which is around that 10,967 territory, basically slightly below the psychological 11,000 mark. So, in terms of tidying up the chart, I think this is this is the time to remove this, but we can recycle this line and put it here. This could be our breakout point for the upside. This level can go away. Okay, so this I think can stay here a little bit. Alright, okay, this one's not really picture perfect here. Okay, so let's keep it out of it. I think I'll rather mark this part. There we go. Okay, so like I said, for the upside, wait for a breakout through the upper side of the falling channel. The S&P 500. So also stalling here a little bit. Yesterday we declined, but that's okay. Yesterday we kind of, you know, still remained above this territory, this key important support area in between the 3,721 and 3,727 levels. If we do drop below this, I will go lower. I will go a little to the downside again, maybe not drastically to the downside, but ideally aiming for the lowest point of September. For the upside, I need to see a push above this 3,796 territory in order to go and aim for this downside line taken from the high of the 16th of August. DXY, beautiful rebound. What can I say? Beautiful rebound. However, I'm not saying that I'm very bullish right now. I'm just keeping an eye on this 112.56 territory. I'm sticking to my rule. I said it before that if we do push back above this hurdle, then I'll get a little bit more excited with the upside. For the downside, I need to see a clear break of this upside support line taken from the low of the 11th of August and also below that 110.05 level. If we get that, then yes, I'll go towards this other upside support line. So basically we could continue with the correction to the downside, but at the moment we are seeing a nice rebound. Not really getting very excited because we are kind of oscillating around the 21-day EMA, so I'm just going to be very careful for now and keep an eye on one of my levels, which is around this 112.56 zone. Gold. Gold is sliding alongside the downside line, which we broke recently, or should I say this week. This one's taken from the high of the 8th of March. So we broke the downside line. We traveled a little bit higher, but we're struggling to go further north. Now, what I said before, that if you're looking for some higher levels, then at least wait for a push above this 1729 territory right here, so 1729. If we clear that, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high. If we cannot clear that, then I'll remain a little bit on the neutral side, because even if you fall back below this downside line, I will, like I said, I'll just observe this as long as we remain above this 1689 level. But if we start falling below it, because at the same time we would break the 21-day EMA and we could go a little bit more to the downside. So at this point, I would say I'm just watching this one. Don't be surprised, for example, if there won't be any activity until the NFPs come out. Yeah, maybe then we'll give a kick to the dollar, and then yeah, we'll see, you know, we'll see gold kind of traveling, you know, accordingly to DXY. So yeah, at the moment that's the game plan. US oil, WTI oil. So of course everybody's talking about it. It's rising again, but the only thing is that, yes, they are talking about the cuts. OPEC is talking about the possible cuts, production cuts. So yeah, maybe basically less oil in the market. However, I mean, let's see how that's going to actually play out, because At the moment, yes, they're trying to lift the price, but the thing is that the price already kind of, I think, adjusted to that. If they continue drastically cutting, then yeah, of course, the price of oil will adjust accordingly. So that's really important to see, because if they cut like just by a little, then maybe the market will not really feel it that much, because basically there is a drop in demand due to, in general, inflation and in general higher prices. So some people choose to not to drive the car and do some other activities, for example, especially leisure activities. So when you used to maybe go somewhere with your car, and and now it's because you're thinking, okay, everything's very expensive, so maybe I'm not going to go anything, I'm going to do something else. So, and so these adjustments, these real life adjustments, and I don't really, like I said, think that we could see a drastic move to the upside, unless I don't know, the something crazy again happens. I mean, we know what started happening here. I mean, at the end of February, why we had this huge explosion. Then everything started correcting to the downside. Now we're seeing another potential move higher. But my problem here is that, let's say, if I judge it just from the technical perspective purely, without like not taking into account any geopolitical kind of problem. So what I'm thinking is that, look, I mean, we're pushing higher. Okay, that's fine. So we're getting this nice correction to the upside, but we're having the 100-day EMA now actually almost crossing the 200-day EMA to the downside. So last time we had that, let me just have a look. Last time we had that, it ended up basically having a huge sell-off here back in 2020. Yep, that was the whole Corona problem, the whole lockdown problem. So yeah, that's where we had the decline. So yes, we're having a bit of a move higher, but are we actually going to get a stronger move here all the way back to the 100s or even above? I would say I'll be a little bit more on the careful side. Now, some of you might say, hey, maybe we should consider this from the technical perspectives, like this downside line. So that means that maybe we have our room to the 115 level again. To be honest, that's quite a big move here. Again, like I said, you need to keep an eye on the market, what's happening in the market in general, on the geopolitical arena. That will probably depend a lot. But if we leave everything as it is right now, let's say, yes, we'll have a few announcements here and there, from OPEC, maybe from somebody else, like other oil producers. But let's say if it's just kind of all this, you can get these temporary shocks. But if overall, if we're kind of, like I said, if we stay as it is right now with lower wages, higher inflation, and that's not really gonna help oil to bounce all the way back here to all these previous highs. But hey, we don't have a crystal ball, so let's wait and see. For at the moment, I'm going from the technical picture and just positioning myself correctly and having my stop loss in place. So just in case it kind of turns around and takes me out, as it sometimes does here with oil, but that's part of the game. So anyway, looking at this picture, at the moment I am still aiming for that 200 and the 100-day EMAs. So let's see if we can reach that. More buyers could join in if we pop above this 90.17 level. And but at the moment, we can see that it's curling up a little bit, so maybe a bit of a retracement could be possible. However, today's Friday. And we are in that moment where sometimes on Fridays we get those crazy moves, to one-way traffic ones, and so yeah, let's be careful. XRP USD, so Ripple. So if you remember, I talked about this one a while ago, and basically I said that, look, maybe we could see a little bit of a correction. As you can see here, it it oscillated beautifully around that 200-day EMA. So that's like perfect. I mean, one thing as well that we have remained above this upside support line. We didn't really test it, but we came very close to testing the 21-day EMA, and we rebounded and we pushed higher. So in a way, this idea is kind of with this curled arrow is working. What I'm keeping an eye on here, and by the way, look at how well this 50% retracement on the Fibonacci worked out. Perfect. Boom. We had a test here, we rebounded, and we pushed higher. So I can get rid of this Fibonacci now. And one thing for sure, I mean, some of you are probably looking at this as a possible maybe triangle pattern here. Again, could be the case, but some of you might say that, hey, we broke the triangle to the upside. Yes, we broke it and we climbed a little bit higher, but now I think that it's time to, well, we can get rid of it. Just bear with me one moment. I think that now, just given the, the lack of interest in the crypto right now, I'd say that, go slowly on this. Don't go like for drastic, radical, highs. We're not at that time yet, but let's say if we do push above the 0.5090 territory right here, I'll go a little bit higher. I'll go a little bit higher, maybe towards this this area here, to this highest point of September near the 0.5597, or maybe a little bit higher, but we'll see. We'll see later. For the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line and a drop below the 21-day EMA. Now, jumping into a few pairs, AUD and ZD, just very quickly on that one. So, okay, one of my favorite pairs, but I have to admit this time it wasn't very technical. However, it depends how you look at it and depends what, how you consider this. But basically what I was talking about recently, I said that, look, I mean, this upside line, that's what I'm keeping an eye on. In order for me to go lower, I need to see a drop and I need to see the pair staying below it. Well, we dropped, but we failed to stay below it. So now we're seeing a nice good push back to the upside. I think that it would be good to actually get rid of this upside line. I think that it kind of worked and kind of not, but if it's not really picture perfect, then I will say right now I'll consider something here. So if you're looking for some upside, I would like to see a break of this downside line taken from the high of the 28th of September, and then would go higher. But of course right now at this point I am gonna keep an eye on something like this, where maybe we could see a bit of a drift back to the downside if we get a hold up near this downside line. If we clear it, I'll go higher. And I'll aim for this highest point of September. But at the moment, yeah, I'm considering something like that. AUD USD, so watching this one carefully, look at this beauty. I mean, we have a range, obviously. We have a range, consolidation. We need a clear breakout. We cannot really talk about any, let's say, ups or downs yet, because, okay, well, we can consider those, but for me personally, I need to see a confirmation break before, let's say, doing anything here. At the moment, I am just observing the price action, and I'm going to keep an eye on this. So if we clear this 0.6522 territory, I'll go higher again. If we drop and stay below this 0.6392, then yeah, I'll go lower. Of course, I'll keep an eye on the lowest point of September first, which is roughly near the 0.6363 territory. But if that gets cleared, well, welcome to lower lows. However, of course, I always mention these. I say that, look, false breakouts. I mean, sometimes do we get those, so don't get way too excited. For example, if you're a bear and you're having all these breaks here, yay, you can go lower and stuff, but what if it's a false breakout and then by the end of the day you'll just see the pair traveling back down? So like I said, position yourselves accordingly, have your stop loss in place, take into consideration the fact that we might see, let's say, even like some choppiness. We could see drifting, this one drifting lower, maybe like it could reverse back to the upside, take you out, for example, if you had your stop loss here, and then could reverse back to the downside again. So we have seen these scenarios, but this is part of trading, guys. So either you cannot really sometimes just enter one trade, one perfect trade, and just go with it. No, it sometimes requires actually multiple entries. If you're convinced that that is the correct scenario, and you have your justifications at least, because there's nothing more than if you're just guessing, then yeah, it's a simple roulette, then principle red and black. But if you have some sort of justification, okay, you can put some percentage towards towards why you're probably increase your probability per se. But yeah, of course, don't get too disappointed, for example, if it doesn't work. But on the contrary, you have done everything what you can in order to assess it, evaluate, and take action. So it's like I said, of course, as you all know, it's a huge psychological game, but it's not with the market. Actually, it's with yourself. So it's forget the market. The market lives its own life. I mean, you're just trying to quickly jump in and take something out of it. But it's like fishing, probably. I mean, I don't fish, but it's like you see a big pond. You're thinking, okay, what's under there, and like this is the market for you. So you're diving in. Maybe you'll get some fish. Maybe you'll find some fish. Maybe you won't. So, but hey, part of the deal. Anyway, enough philosophy here. USD JPY. So there we go. That's the USD JPY. Again, range. Still watching it. Of course, today's day is going to be quite interesting. I'm waiting to see if we can actually get some sort of super awesome move here. But I'm not rushing into anything, so I'm just going to be observing this for now. And yeah, at the moment, yes, of course, we're violating the upper side of the range here, but we're also actually sitting above it, and yeah, that's quite interesting here. So again, we're sitting slightly above that 145 level, so that's quite interesting, because again, if we continue to trade above that 145 territory, then I'll continue aiming to the upside. But if we fall below it, and we could, like I said, we could, because we have the NFPs coming out today, so yeah, be careful on this one. But at the moment, let's say if everything stays as it is, I'm leaning a little bit maybe more towards the upside. But if we start breaking, actually, if we start breaking something like this here, let me try to put this on the chart. Something like this. Yeah, there we go. If we start breaking this, at the same time, we could break the 21-day EMA, and we could go lower. USD CHF. So yeah, a bit of a little roller coaster ride here, and maybe. I previously I have drawn these two trend lines. I said to you before, look, these are tentative. Don't really rely on these too much. Because maybe something else could be forming here, and this level here no longer needed. It's not really great. I think that these two levels are the ones to watch: the 0.9966 and the 0.9739 levels here. I do understand that we could be missing out on a lot of territory right here, but hey guys, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So yeah, I'll keep, at the moment, yes, we're moving higher. Some of you might say that, hey, maybe this is a nice triangle pattern here, which, you wouldn't be wrong here. If we want to, but still, as long as we remain inside this pattern, we cannot really do anything unless you really like to trade something like that. But if you do, well done. I mean, congratulations. If you know where to, what to take here, but again, it's way too risky because you never know when it's going to exit the, the formation. So at the moment, I'm waiting. I'm playing the waiting game here, and then I'm going to do something about it. Preferably, I would like to see a clear push above the 0.9966 territory for the upside. For the downside, I'd like to see a drop below this hurdle, 0.9739, because maybe it could end up being a range and not a triangle at all. USD CAD. So watching this one pumping higher. Yep, moving nicely to the upside. Look, I mean, I talked about this recently, or should I say yesterday. I said that if we pop above the 1.3696 territory here, I'll go higher. And look at this. So far, it's going higher. Now, my next target is the 1.3833. I'm not saying that we might reach it exactly. At the moment, I would say be careful, because again, we also, not only that we have the NFPs, we also have the Canadian numbers coming out as well. So the Canadian employment change figure together with the participation and employment rates. So yeah, could be an interesting one for USD CAD traders. So keep that in mind, guys. At the moment, I'm not going to really do much prediction here, because again, like I said, if I would keep everything as it is right now without any news, then yeah, I'm leaning towards this target, this 1.3833. But for the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 1.3605 territory, somewhere around here, in order to go lower. USD South African Rand, look at this. Yesterday I talked about this pair, and I said that, like, hey, we could be seeing here a bunch of stuff. Like the most vague analysis ever. Like, I mean, there's this stuff with these things happening here. So yeah, basically, look, I mean, we have ourselves a nice rising channel. Okay, we're still respecting the 21-day EMA together with the lower side of this rising channel. That's great. What's next? Can we see some sort of a further move higher? Of course, and it's doing that. Let me just remove this. I think it's better to use this parallel channel here. So we're at the moment, we're drifting nicely to the upside. Look, if we continue to trade within this pattern, I mean, yes, the trend is to the upside, so that's why we could go higher. And at the moment, I'm aiming for the upside, but we have this downside line, which also could be seen as a upper side of the channel, and I think that it's time to actually remove this and draw the parallel channel. I mean, yesterday I talked about a potential rising wedge pattern, which still could be the case, don't get me wrong, but I think this is a little bit more accurate. Yeah, there we go. So something like that, guys. We have ourselves a little rising channel within another bigger rising channel. So at the moment, the trend is to the upside. If we start breaking the lower side of this smaller rising channel, I'll go lower, especially if we drop below the 17.57 level. Simple as that. GBP/CHF. So we corrected lower. We corrected, yes, nicely to the downside. And look, I mean, I talked about this previously. I said that if we drop and stay below this 1.10 0.7 level, yep, approximately around here, then I'll consider this, you know, going back maybe to the downside. And look at this. I mean, yesterday we just bang on tested that level, and then we rebounded from it. So okay, at the moment, I would say I am just observing the price action here. I'm not really going to do anything because, look, I mean, ideally I wanted to see this rebound here from this downside line. Can we get that rebound? Well, let's wait and see. I would say at this point I'm not really comfortable with the upside unless we start pushing above this barrier. Where's that barrier? Look at, I think that... I'll grab a new line. This one right here, the current highest point of October. If we push through it, I'll go to the upside, because this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and then yeah, more buyers could join in. So any area around here will be just kind of neutral for me. So yes, I understand there's a lot of pips here, you know, lying around, but you know, I rather be. This is my style of trading. I mean, guys, you do however you want it to do. So yeah, but like I said, this is the more preferred level for me for the upside. For the downside, I'm keeping an eye on this, of course, today. Let's see if we can drop below it, and at the moment I'm kind of leaning that there could be some drop, but will it be a false breakout, or will it be actually a genuine, you know, move to the downside? If it is a genuine one, then yeah, I'll go further south. GBP/NZD. So previously I talked about this, and look at this. Look how well this area, the upper side of the range that I talked about previously, is holding up. So great. I mean, this range here is not an ideal one, I would say, because I mean this is something around here. Let me just grab this. I think that it will be much easier. So yeah, it's something like this here. Let me just, there we go. So after we broke the upper side of the range, we have traveled nicely further north, but when we corrected, and then we found resistance here near the near the psychological 2 level. We corrected from here, but now we're finding good support near the upper side of the of this previous range. Can we get back below it? Well, that's a good question. At the moment, I'm going to just observe this. As long as it stays above the upper side of the range here, then yes, there is still potential for this one to move higher. Euro JPY. Beautiful hold up near this 144 level. Look at this. I mean, I previously talked about this, but yeah, being this level here, the 144 acted as a fantastic resistance. Now we're seeing that little correction to the downside towards that 21-day EMA. So can we get a nice rebound from that 21-day EMA? Well, let's wait and see. If we do rebound, then good. But if we start falling below it, I'll aim for the 100-day EMA together with this 139.55 level. For the upside, I need to see a push over the 144 level. Simple as that. I'm just going to observe the price action for now. And finally, EURUSD, also something that I'm watching today, of course, due to NFPs. We fell back below the 0.9864 territory. That's quite interesting. So yeah, let's see if this idea of mine will work out, because previously I talked about it. I said that if we do drop below the 0.9864 and stay below it, I'll go lower. My next target is the 0.9733 or the 0.96 territory right here. But again, let's go slowly on this one. First, let's say aim for the 0.9733. If we clear that, then yeah, I'll go for that 0.96 territory. So that's it. That's it for this session, guys. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, your views, your likes, your comments, everything, guys. I really appreciate everything. So thank you for, sticking with me this week, watching the videos. Really appreciate that. So if you want to catch me Monday. If you want to catch me on Monday, then yes, 6 o'clock GMT time, as always, 6 o'clock in the morning. But for now, have a wonderful trading day today. Don't overtrade. It's Friday, guys. If it's not working the way you want it, just leave it. It's Friday. There's always, go rest. Have a great weekend and come back on Monday, where we will have a look at these instruments again. We'll see, I'll probably pick up on the same ones to see how it played out today later on. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.